Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us here today at our first lecture in 2021. I hope everyone had a great holiday and we're ready for newer, brighter, and better things coming our way this year. My name is Megan Williams, and I'm the Director of Support Service at Alzheimer Group. For those of you who don't know, Alzheimer Group, we support people who are living with dementia and their families through various programming, support groups, counseling opportunities, and education workshops like these today. Today's lecture is made possible by the generous support of the Lindsay Memorial Foundation. AGI is a charitable organization and we rely on the support of donations. Today's lecture is free, but you're welcome to donate at any time by calling us or visiting our website. Please note that we are recording today's lecture and it will be made accessible to you on our YouTube page. At the end of the day today or tomorrow, you will receive an email with a survey. That survey is really important for us to get feedback, but there will also be the YouTube link so you can go back and look at the lecture today. So without further ado, I'm going to ask, I think everyone's on mute right now, and I'll leave it up to the guest speakers to regulate that. Today's lecture is Playful Tools for Exhausted Caregivers. It's going to be a little bit more interactive than what you might be used to. So please proceed at your comfort level. Today we have two guest speakers. Our first speaker we have is Ryan Backer. He's an age activist striving to undo ageism within an intersectional framework. He's been on social justice path since 2013 and is a co-creator of www.oldschool.info. Ryan identifies as a white, non-binary, European American old person in training with an undergraduate degree in gerontology. So, and we also have Susie Showers, who's a drama therapist and counselor in Montreal, working with adults dealing with anxiety in life transitions. She's a theater performer, a clown, and a puppeteer, and she's worked in long-term care hospital settings as well as community circles as a facilitator or for people with physical disabilities and developmental delays. Her approach is embodied with trauma and trauma informed. So without further ado, I'm going to leave that to you. So go ahead. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Megan. Thank you so much for having us and for Alzheimer Group for hosting today. It's really an honor to be part of the Lindsay Lectures. And we're here as caregivers for older adults, all coming together to reduce stress, to connect to each other in a way that's going to give us more energy and reduce the isolation that we're all feeling, which can lead to exhaustion, especially when we're in these roles. So just to give you a kind of outline of the schedule, we're going till 1. We'll start with a grounding, and then we're going to get to know each other with a couple of playful exercises and explore what our experience of stress is in this group. And then we're going to share ways of calming yourself using the body's wisdom. We'll then share some activities for adults of how we can connect playfully in person and on Zoom, because that's where we're at right now. And then we'll wrap up from there. So I'm going to pass it over to my co-host Ryan to lead the grounding.
Hi, everyone. Welcome. So happy to be here today. Thanks so much for having me. And I put the schedule in the chat in case anyone wants to refer to it as we go along. Feel free to check it out. And I know usually maybe when you come to these lectures, you might be doing other things, and that's totally fine if that's the case. But because we're going to be so interactive today, it would be great if you have the bandwidth, both yourself and your internet, if you could turn on your camera just so that we can all interact and engage, that would be really fabulous. So I'm just going to bring us through a grounding exercise. But first, because we really want to focus on the body here and how our body feels, because that's so much a part of being playful and de-stressing, I'm going to ask you, if you have a pen and paper, to just draw the outline of a body, your body, on a piece of paper. And it doesn't have to be a very good drawing, just basically get the extremities in the head, and that's all you really need. So I'll do mine here and show you all. So this is my example. Feel free to follow suit. Just, it can be a stick figure. It doesn't have to even be 2D. And what we're going to do is, throughout this session together, I want you to refer back to that and maybe take notes as you're exploring these different ways of being playful, and show up, where do you have discomfort in your body, or where do you feel good in your body? Maybe you're going to be smiling a lot, so you might want to say, oh, I feel a lot of activity in my face from smiling. And you can also feel free to doodle on that piece of paper. So if you want, you don't necessarily have to write words down. You can just draw whatever comes to you. It can be symbols or patterns or scribbles. And just know that as we are exploring the feeling of our bodies, that we can have discomfort that comes up, and you're always at choice. So if it's too much to be in your body at that moment, that's totally fine. Don't worry about it. And come back if you can, and if not, that's fine. And so now, after hopefully you all have your bodies drawn out, and now I'll ask you just to take note of your physical state right now. So feel your heartbeat, feel how much you're breathing, if your breathing is fast or slow. Maybe pay attention to your muscle tension. Is your jaw tight? Maybe your shoulders are up a bit. Just just pay attention. I'm not saying to change anything, just feel what is tense in your body. And this can serve as an indicator of how your body responds to the exercises that we're about to be doing. So I'm going to lead us through a quick sensing activity, and it's a fairly quick grounding technique to start us off on the session, and it uses the senses to become aware of the environment and help us notice that we are hopefully in a safe room, and this can help lower stress. So first, I'm going to orientate to the space. So that just means, if you want to bring your head all the way as far left as it will possibly go. So you can, if you can, look over your shoulder or just look to your left, and then bring your head back to the center, and then go all the way to the right. Great. And come back. And then you can do the same thing. You can look above. So bring your head above to look at the space above you. And then bring your head down, look below you. And as you're doing that, you can see things in the space, right? You can see different colors. You can see maybe if you have different textures around you, just notice the different textures. And if you want, even I invite you to turn your back to the camera and just look at what's behind you. And then we all presumably have something in front of us, right? A computer, and all of us, our beautiful faces looking at each other. But then try to see what's beyond the camera too, as well, beyond the computer, and look beyond if there's anything other than a wall. And so I also invite you to touch anything that's in front of you. So might be some objects in front of you. I have a little stress ball here that I can always touch if I need to. And just to acclimate yourself to the space and feel things around you. And see if you can hear anything. Maybe there might be activity in the room or outside where you are. If you can hear anything. I'm in a pretty secluded space, so I don't hear much. Hopefully it'll stay that way for the presentation. Just see if you can hear anything other than the sound of my voice. And next is smell and taste. And if you hear, or sorry, if you smell anything, see if you can smell anything, or if maybe you just ate, you might have some lunch still resonating in your mouth. See if you can smell or taste anything. This is a bit more difficult. So if you don't smell or taste anything, you can imagine. Imagine maybe what the taste of an apple tastes like, or smell flower or rose or something of the sort. Great. So thanks everyone for going through that with me. And now I just invite you to take note of your heart rate again, your breathing, your muscle tension. Do you notice any differences in your body from when you arrived here to now? And if you do, you can write it down if you would like, just to indicate how you're feeling in your body. Great. And with that, I'll hand it over to Susie for our next activity.
I did not realize that I needed that. I'm feeling way more present. Thank you for leading us through that. We're going to now look at how stress affects us as people here in this room using what's called the Zoom Spectrogram. So we survey the group using the body on the screen to get to know each other and to kind of get a sense of the group situation. So a spectrogram is a way of collecting data using the body rather than using a Likert scale, you know, like you've done a 1 to 10 scale. Well, this is going to use the body as the scale. So rather than speaking, we are going to use our hands. So these are yes/no questions. So if yes is at the top, you would bring your hand up to the top of the screen, and no would be at the bottom. And if movement is a challenge, you can use a small object. I only have my glass of water here. So you can use something other than your hand to show where you're at with the yes and the no. So let's try moving all together to a yes. Great, right on. And down to a no. All right. I'm actually going to get my pen and paper to record the answers. So, question 1. Would you call yourself creative? Okay, we got a lot of yeses. Do you feel comfortable exploring stress and exhaustion with a group that you don't know? Okay, we got some wiggly hands here, some like yes and maybe. Okay, here's a good question. Do you love being on Zoom calls? Okay, sort of in the middle. Seems like it depends. Right now, are you seeing your care partner, the person that you're caring for with in person? Okay, it's about half and half. Do you ever feel like you're doing a bad job if you are tired? Okay. So it looked like a lot of yeses and sort of in the upper part of yes. Is play something that adults can do? Okay, we've got some twinkly fingers and some yeses. So just in those few questions, we've got kind of a temperature of the group. You can see everyone else. So there's kind of an equal balance of power. It's not just me who like holds all the answers to the data in the room. So it's really giving the power back to the group. And so seeing that maybe there's like a lot of people who are in the same kind of ballpark as you. If this were in person, we would use the whole room as a scale, and we would find, oh, there are lots of people that agree with me in this yes area. So then we might have a conversation. But that's a little more challenging on Zoom. But to just reflect on seeing similar and different responses in this, this group chat, check in with your body. What part is moving or tapping or shaking or buzzing? It might just be a habitual thing. I'm playing with my pen. And that might be in response to this, or to maybe it brought up something in your body, the questions. And so you can, if you're leading a group, you can also use this technique as a way of getting to know each other and of kind of opening up conversation. And with that, I'm going to give it back to Ryan.
Thanks so much, Susie. It's so good to see who's in the room and where everyone's coming from. So for the next two activities, it's going to be a bit technical with Zoom. We're going to be using some things that on Zoom that you might have never done before. And if you feel like it's too much of a struggle for you, that's totally fine. Don't worry about needing to participate. I think even if you aren't able to participate, it still might be really enjoyable for you to see the results of what we do together. But if you would like, please feel free. And if you need any technical help, just unmute yourself and let us know. So the first thing that we are going to be using with the Zoom features is the whiteboard. And so I'm going to share my screen now. And you can see we did a little practice round, right? So before everyone came on, Jillian, did you have a question? Sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. Jillian? Oh, okay. So as you can see, before you came on, we did a little test run. So these are three pictures that the three of us drew, Megan, Susie, and I, before you came on. So what we're gonna do right now is I'm gonna clear this. And I'm gonna ask you on your screen to go to where it says view options. So it might say Ryan is sharing screen or something like that. You want to click on that and it should say view options. And underneath that, there will be an option to annotate. And you want to click on annotate. Now, if you're on a tablet, it might be different. So if you're on a tablet, feel free to tell us what happened, how you got to annotate. I see Kathy is on there. Awesome. We're getting people on. So just to go over again, you should see somewhere that says that I'm sharing the screen. And then below that, you should see, if you click on that, it should say view options and then annotate. And then when you click on that, you should have lots of options. It should say text, draw, stamp, spotlight, eraser, format, all of those options. And you want to click the draw options if you want. If you want to make a stamp, you can do that too. But so what we're going to be doing here together in this format is we are going to be using the annotate option to bring, we're going to be creating a group image about the stress of being a care partner. So together we're going to be creating a piece of art, and through that art, we're going to be talking about what the stress of being a caregiver is like, a care partner is like. So I'm going to switch back to gallery mode so that I can see all of you. Who's having trouble with it? Do you want to just wave your hand? Okay, Francis. And are you on a tablet, Francis? Jean is as well. Are you on a tablet, Jean? Do you see somewhere where it says that I'm sharing the screen?
For Alzheimer, my love, okay? Yeah, here.
It says share screen, but when I go there, it says you cannot start screen share while the other participant is sharing.
Do you see the whiteboard
Yep.
Yes.
where people are drawing? Okay, so when you
Yeah.
try just clicking your finger on the whiteboard, and what happens?
I still have that sign. You cannot share screen, but I'll put okay. Now I do have the whiteboard in front of me.
Is there any other indication that I'm sharing the screen there?
Yeah, I have something that says at the bottom left, it says Ryan.
Try clicking on that.
I did. I
And what
have some,
happened?
it says
No,
pen,
because we
arrow,
opened
shape,
the seminar,
text,
madam.
eraser, undo, redo.
So do you have a draw option?
Yeah.
No,
Oh,
it gives
Jean,
me,
Yes, you have a pen.
you
I
have
have
a pen.
pen.
oh, pen.
A pen.
Pen, not draw, pen. Great. So that's what you want to use. Anyone else? We good to go?
I'm having trouble. I'm on a iPad. And when I press share screen, it says again, I cannot start the screen share while other participant is sharing.
So we're not asking you to share the screen. Everyone is using my shared screen. So you want to go to the shared screen and click where it says that Ryan is sharing my screen. Click on that and it should give you the option to annotate.
I go to
For
share
iPad
screen.
users, it's in the lower left-hand corner. It's a little circle with a pencil that says Ryan Backer's screen.
Yes,
Click on that.
I see it. I click on the pencil.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome.
I've done
Okay,
it.
so
I've
I'm
done
going to clear what we've done already and then we can begin for a few minutes, okay?
Okay.
Yeah. What we gonna? Where are we on, my love?
When I click on the pen, nothing happens.
Have you tried to draw with the pen?
I
Okay,
have.
we're gonna try.
I don't know.
You
Me
have to
neither.
click and drag.
Yeah, click and drag. So hold it down, maybe.
I am actually.
Okay.
Maybe your ink is white and you can't see it.
I don't know. Okay, color. Hang on.
So just while others are kind of getting used to this function, those who are able to draw, we're creating a collaborative image of what stress is like in the care partner role.
That's good. Yes, my love.
And I'm gonna take a couple snapshots of this, this collective image as we're going along.
So what do we think? What do we think? Do we like the image? How do we
No.
feel about it? Linda doesn't like it.
It's a bit exploratory just using this, so it's kind of, you're kind of dealing with two things, like the thinking and okay, what happens when I press this? So you're a little ambivalent here.
It's true.
Yeah, I'm learning. I've never done this,
Hmm.
so it anyway. It's
It's
something
great.
new.
It is, yeah. Fantastic. All right, so we're coming to the end. Susie, did you get a snapshot of it? Okay, so we will hopefully send that up in a follow-up, send that to you in a follow-up email. We'll pass it along to Megan so that you can all keep it as a souvenir from this workshop. So say goodbye for now. Fantastic. Okay, so the next feature that we're going to do is also a little bit tricky, but I promise you, once we get through the technical hurdles, it will be a really fun activity. So we like to call it post secret.
Post secret.
Post secret. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be an example. I'm going to change my name to Play, P-L-A-Y. So as you can see, I'm no longer Ryan Backer, I am Play. And when I write into the chat, you can see that Play said to everyone hello. And now I'll just rename myself again, Ryan Backer. And now I'll say hello again. Oh, I guess that didn't work because it still looks like Play said it.
No,
No, it says your name.
It says my name. Okay, great. So as you can see, even though I was Play for 1 second and I said something, you can't tell that I said it, right? Because it's under the name Play. So what I'm going to invite all of us to do is change our names to Play. So just lowercase P-L-A-Y so that we are anonymous. If you know how to change your name. If you don't know how to change your name, I think you can go to the participants list if you're on a computer and you find your name and you can hit more and hit rename. Does anyone know how to do this feature on an iPad?
Yes.
same way.
Same way. Okay. Okay, so maybe everyone is changing their name to different versions of Play. So the point is that we want you to be anonymous. So if you could just change it to P-L-A-Y all lowercase, that would be good because we want to be egalitarian with this exercise here. We don't want anyone to feel left out. So I'm wondering. Now, Megan, as a host, you have the option to change people's names. I'm wondering if you could just change, some people don't have it lowercase. So if you could just change people's names to be lowercase, that would be super helpful. And now people have the option to post in the chat anonymously, and it will not show up as who is posting. So you want to make sure that your chat option is set to everyone in the meeting. And I want you to type something that you want to leave here and something that you don't want to keep to yourself.
Excuse me, how do you do that?
Oh, sorry. How to get to the chat? You should have a little speech bubble that says chat. And then you can write in the chat.
I don't see it.
Maybe, are you on an iPad?
Yes.
Okay, so I think if you click on the iPad, if you just tap the iPad, it should show up at maybe underneath more.
There's
It does.
three little upper right-hand corner, three little dots
Oh, okay.
with the word more underneath.
Thank you, Play.
What am I looking for? Chat?
Yeah.
Okay.
For those who are typing, this is kind of an opportunity to anonymously post things that are just on your chest, you know, things that are weighing on you that maybe you wouldn't really share if it was connected to you. But because we're all the same name, you can just let it out, you know, your role as a carer, the way that you see the pandemic going, things that are kind of in your sphere as a care partner that you're feeling and thinking.
I can't get in there.
So people are saying they're scared and uncertain, trying hard to keep everybody happy, sorry. Wish I had more time to myself. This is confusing. Part of COVID keeping me from being with my family and taking time away from helping loved ones in need. Yeah. Cover your nose well with your mask, otherwise it's useless. Feeling unsafe, always. It's been difficult for seniors. I'm stressed, having so much anxiety with life and the pandemic, the unknown. Wow, I feel like I wrote this. Scared and difficult. And as you're writing and you're reading, you might see things that you're also experiencing. Not feeling trustful, very tired, hard to always be home. Yep, get it out. This is an anonymous post.
Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. So I see we have someone new. Carol, we can tell that they're new because everyone else is named Play. The only person with a name here. Thanks so much, everyone, for that. And thank you so much for your honesty and connecting over shared frustrations. It's so powerful. Yeah, this is hard to be, it's hard to be always home with only one person who always needs me. I think my social skills have decreased significantly and my social anxiety has increased. I'm stressed and having so much anxiety with life and the pandemic and the unknown. Thank you so much for your trust in sharing this all with the group. So we're going to move on to our next activity. So I invite you to change your name back if you would like. And just a reminder for people on iPads, it's in the upper right-hand corner. I'm learning. And maybe if you're having trouble switching back, you can wave and Megan can help us out here.
So as we're doing that, and also when you change your name back to your given name, it doesn't change in the chat. So those pieces will remain as play. This may have opened up some stuff. You know, we're talking about hard things. So we want to hold you. We want to keep you feeling well enough. So here are some techniques to de-stress the body. This is taken from my professor Jessica Bloor's topic on first aid for the nervous system. So that's directly from her. Using touch, we can often get past the kind of racing thoughts that might be there, or that feeling of full exhaustion that we try and keep up with coffee. But using touch and focusing on sensation, we connect to the body's wisdom. So I would recommend doing these things before going on shift or going to see your care partner. And then during, you can share it with them as well, and you can do it together. And then after as well. And that's a way of kind of containing that time with them, if that's possible. So after each technique, we're going to do a little mini check-in with the sensations just going on inside. And that's something we can do now. So check your heart rate. And just check in with your breathing. Is it deep, shallow, quick, slow? And any areas of tension or relaxation in your body. I see some jaws moving. So we've already done the 5 senses, and that would be kind of the first technique for scanning safety in the environment. And then the next one is to squeeze your bones. So try different bones. So you can start with your hand.
Yes, ready.
And feel, you know, does it feel good with all my fingers, or like just my thumb, just my pinky, or both? Like what feels kind of, that like body is like, oh yeah, that one. Kind of holding the wrist. See if it's more in the left hand. My favorite is inside the palm. That's like my little pause button. Just trying it out. I'm like, oh, what feels good here? Might just try squeeze an elbow. Squeeze your shoulders. I see someone is squeezing their head. That is so good. My thoughts are in my skull. Everything is inside my head. Try squeezing on the sides and then on the front and back. You might find the back of the neck is calling for some attention. I'm gonna stand up, and if it's, or sort of kneel up here, if it's possible for you to put your hands on your hip bones. Yeah, Jean's standing up. We got a few people standing, wonderful. And maybe squeeze on that big muscle of the thigh and on your knees. And always testing of like, what feels good? Because some parts might just be a meh. If you can reach your foot, give it a squeeze. Squeeze the bones of your foot. Some might not feel good. So just take a note of that, and maybe that's not where it's at for this one. But that's great. I see a lot of people trying out different parts. And so just make a note of that in the little body diagram you made of What was a bone that felt good to squeeze? So this is very similar, but instead of the squeeze, we're just rubbing different parts. So rub your hands together. And you're making some heat between your hands. This is quite a common thing to do, like in yoga, your teacher might be like, rub your hands together. And then a lovely relaxing onto the eyes. Put the palms of your hands onto your eyes. Oh my gosh, I needed this. Whew. And you can also, oh yeah, wow, everyone's taking their time. I love that. Going slow is important. And also to rub your thighs. Just have like a sort of medium to firm grip, rubbing back and forth on your thighs. And I find it's really nice to rock back and forth. It's just like a soothing rhythm for my body. And, you know, that's what works for me, and it might work for you and it might not. But that's why we give like lots of different ones to see like what you can put in your toolkit. So we've got squeezing and rubbing. Okay, this one is called Trace the Midline. So I'm gonna move all my stuff so that I can properly stand up to share with you. You can see my cat tree now. So we're gonna take this edge of the hand with the pinky, and we're gonna trace the whole midline of the body from the head to the toes, or whatever's accessible for you. If you wanna remain sitting and do this as far as you can, great. If you wanna stand and do it, that's all good. So quite firmly, start at the top of your head and move slowly down your face, down your neck, down your chest. And when you get to the pelvis, you're gonna split down your legs. And when you get to the farthest point that you can reach, you brush. It's sort of like brushing away. And let's do that again. So starting at the top of the head, moving down, quite firm and slow. And then splitting at the pelvis and coming down. And finally at the end to brush away. And now just to make it even on both sides, I'm kind of running around here. You're gonna turn around and do it. So you start at the back of the head and go down, and then a little awkward switcheroo down the back. And again, at the butt, you're going to split and go down and brush. And then check in. Check in with your heart. Check in with your breathing. Is it different or the same? Deep, shallow, fast, slow. Any areas of tension and relaxation? Did anything change or shift? I see a couple people. I see Nicole doing some shoulder moves there. It's good. So those are 3 techniques for, it's called first aid, emotional first aid first aid for the nervous system. So squeeze your bones, rub your hands, rub your thighs, and trace the midline. I like the swish too, Nicole. Just brush it all off. So I hope those were helpful. I'm gonna swing it on back to Ryan.
Thanks so much, Susie. So the next exercise is very Zoom specific. Sometimes when you're on these calls, it can feel like everything's very 2D very flat. And so we're going to break that a little bit. And what we're going to do is we're going to choose an object around us and just show the camera, show us what that object is. So I am going to choose this little lady to show you all. My lighting's not the best, but if you can see, she's a little witch saying hello, a happy witch. And Jelen has a bunny. That's great. Fantastic. A nice pink bunny. It's almost Easter, right? We're getting there. And Taylor has a beautiful piece of driftwood, I think that is. Nice. We still have some Christmas mugs, I see. We have a Be Merry Christmas mug and a doggy with a hat on, and Jean has a J. Beautiful, amazing. Rosa has a sword. Rosa, do you want to come off mute and explain what exactly that is?
It's actually a letter opener, but it's very old. It's from my father-in-law.
Wow, incredible.
It's not really a sword. It's only about 10 inches long.
Amazing.
Anyways, it was right here on my desk. I just picked it up.
It's perfect. Thank you. Does anyone else want to come off mute and explain what their object is?
Mine is a back scratcher.
Nice.
It was my mother's.
Beautiful. That's a great tool for self-care. That's important. That's awesome. And you're still named Play, but do you want to show what's your object? Do you want to say what your object is?
It's a Tibetan bell.
Oh.
Use it to clean. I've been trying to change Play. It won't come off. It's Linda.
Thank you, Linda. Wow, that sounds beautiful.
Yeah, it's a nice, really nice sound.
Wow. Well, thanks everyone. So that's just a great way to break the flatness of the space. And so next we're going to get into a little bit of movement, since we've been sitting in front of the screen for so long. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a little dancing. And you don't have to get up if you don't want. You can stay in your seat and do a little dancing. And what we're going to do is we're going to learn from each other's moves. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start dancing, and you can all follow the moves that I'm doing. And then I'm going to call on someone and they can lead. Okay? So don't be shy. So I'm going to start sharing my screen. Or not sharing my screen, sorry, just sharing my noise so that we can all see each other dance. So hopefully you can hear this. Yeah? Okay. Let me turn it down a little bit so we can hear. We want to hear everyone when they call on the next person. Okay, so let's start. Okay, Susie.
Just move on up toward your destination. Though you may find from time to
Taylor.
complication.
Oh.
Bite your lip and take the trip.
Taylor, who's next?
Oh, sorry. I thought I said Nicole. Was I muted? Nicole,
And you cannot slip.
can you hear me?
Just move on up. For peace you'll find. Into the steeple of beautiful people where there's only one kind. So hush not, child.
All right, Nicole, who's next?
Don't cry.
Megan.
Your folks might understand you by and by. Move on up and keep on wishing. Remember your dream is your only scheme. So keep on pushing.
Megan, can you choose someone else to lead?
Can you hear me?
Who is it?
I said Stephanie.
Then the supreme best. Do not obey, no people say, but you can pass the test. Just move on up to a greater day. With just a little faith, if you put your mind to it, you can surely do it. Just move on up. Move on up. But move on
Team, who's next?
Watch out, but just move on up. But move on up.
Who do you want to call on, Jean?
Oh, okay. Rosa.
Who didn't go yet? What?
Oh,
Oh. Yay.
great job, everyone. That was fantastic. We could have had another 5 minutes of that, I think, right?
Yes.
Thanks so much, everyone. That was a lot of fun. Woo! Great way to enter the afternoon. Fantastic. So it looks like we only have a few minutes left, so I'll hand it over to Susie for our last exercise.
This is the self-hug. So important in isolation. Take your left hand. And I know we've just been dancing, but put it under your right armpit. And then wrap your right arm around your left shoulder. And exhale. It's quite a firm squeeze. And a study was done on this posture. And it was found that, and my voice is slowing down because I'm feeling it, that the same amount of dopamine is released when you hold this for 20 seconds or more as when someone else is hugging you. And human contact is a basic need. So you are keeping yourself well by doing this pose. I can hear some sighing across the Zoom waves. That's good. So I prescribe this for 20 seconds a day minimum. So let's give yourself a squeeze and let it go. That's it. That's our workshop.
Thank you, Susie. Thank you, Ryan. I want to say thank you for taking me out of my comfort zone a little bit. And I'm sure some of you might feel that you were taken out of your comfort zone, trying new technology and things. But I love how you ended off with something that is so important that we're not getting enough of. We need to do that self-hug. And I hope all of you, I think everyone can find 20 seconds in their day. Maybe try to think about all of these little tools. I think they're so important. So just as a quick reminder to everyone, you will get an email sent to you either today or tomorrow with a survey, please. We know this is a new format, just trying it. I think it's always great to keep trying something new. Fill out that survey, check the YouTube link. And also just the last thing, just a reminder that it is January is Alzheimer Awareness Month. Next week, we are having a special lecture on a Wednesday at noon on demystifying dementia. It's with the AGI, some of the AGI team and 2 people's perspectives who are actually living with dementia and have insight to their diagnosis. I think it'll be really informative, and it'll be a chance for all of us to see really how we are playing into the stigma a little bit and what we can do to make some small changes. You know, how many of you are telling people today that you were at an Alzheimer group lecture? So I think it's important. We need to talk openly about dementia. And hopefully we will look forward to seeing people next Wednesday. Thank you again for joining us. Have a wonderful day. I think it's warm outside. Get out and enjoy the weather, okay? Take care.
Thanks so much for having us, Maggie.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.